I went door to door, selling, giving out brochures. I found someone who scared the heck out of me because he wanted to buy a sign for me, and I didn't know anything about signs, but I wasn't going to let him see that. He did not have to know how I felt inside. Your audience does not have to know that you feel a little nervous. You're uneasy about the material. Act the way you want your audience to perceive you. And the more confident you can appear, the more confidence they're going to have in what you are saying and in doing business with you. I mean, that, if you do nothing else, again, have that confidence. If you don't prepare your presentations, because when you prepare, you're going to have that confidence. But if you forget, if you don't prepare to always have that confidence, believe that your audience has something, that your audience is going to benefit from what you have to say and what you have to offer them. You're there for them, not for you. And especially in sales, or when we're trying to sell a message, we think that the audience is there for us. We want them to buy a financial plan from us. And I'm not sure, I'm just using an example, but a lot of financial planners get it, and I'm sure, what's your name?
Scott.
Scott. I'm sure Scott gets it, where he's letting them know the benefits to them and why you should have a financial plan. So forget about me. Let's talk, it's all about you. All right, next step. Engaging. Okay. This is the most powerful way to get your message across, to get buy-in from your audience, to make sales if you're making sales. And that is, what do you think? Smile. Smile's a good one. Stories and real life examples. Let's say, anybody speak to anybody belong to like a referral group like B&I or Chambers? Okay, great. Okay, so this is just for you. Rotaries, Chamber of Commerce. So let's say you want a specific referral from someone. You want to talk about another client similar that you've dealt with like that. Or let's say, what else? Tell me, someone else, maybe you don't do sales, what type of other presentations do you do? Somebody raise their hand and tell me presentation they're working on.
We try to get referrals, and I work for a visiting nurse association.
Oh, okay. So if you're looking for referrals for the visiting nurse, a lot of people, so some visiting nurses might get up, and as an example, and might say, oh, we have a visiting nurse facility, and we're really good, and our nurses are this and that, blah, blah, blah. But what we want to say is, we've dealt with people who came from here and now are here. We want before and after stories. Nobody cares about all that other stuff. I have clients that come to me, they have all these presentations. Here's the history of the company, the founder of the company, all of the awards that we've won, and who cares? All I want to know is, what can you do for me, and how have you done it for other people or for yourself? Before and after stories. Let's say today I came up here, and I told you, I didn't give any stories at all. And all I said was, add stories to your presentations. Have a good opening with your presentation. Don't use PowerPoint, and if you do, use pictures. I'm telling you what to do. I'm not giving you examples, I'm not giving you stories, I'm not giving you analogies. And analogies are so much fun. How many of you like to talk about your hobbies or your interests or your favorite vacation or your worst vacation? We like to talk about our own stories. Use them, engage your audience, and have it tie into your presentation, which I sort of did with my sales. But a lot of times I open up with my biking experiences. And I might say, 10 years ago, well, actually no, it's like 18, no, it's 13. I biked across the country and my butt still hurts. And then I'll go and talk about the bike trip a little bit, and then I say, and that's a lot like public speaking, blah, 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 blah. So if you have an opening that's going to grab your attention, or any type of stories, make sure it relates to what you're saying. Okay, next step.
Questions and answers.
Questions and answers. It's very important to always have time for questions and answers. And too many of us, we tend to some of us want to make sure there's no time for questions because we're so afraid what the questions might be. But my favorite reason for having a question and answer period is, what do you think?
Feedback.
Feedback is good. Engaging.
You know what to incorporate into your presentation in the future.
You know what to incorporate in the future. Great.
They get what they wanted.
They get what they wanted. They're going to ask a question. You give them an answer. My favorite, and these are all great because there's so many reasons to have Q&A, important reasons, the one important to me is usually somebody will say, I don't have a question, but how can I hire you?
Oh.
Now that person just sold everybody else for you. Helped convince the audience that you're pretty good. The other thing is when you have questions and answers, you want to imagine imagine that person is asking the question for the entire audience. So you don't want to just answer to that one person and have a dialogue, because then what's going to happen? You lose everybody else. Right. So that person is a representative asking the question for everybody. But too many times I see presenters say, oh, well, and now we're just answering to that person, and you know what, everybody else wants to hear the answer. What was the question? Right, we want to repeat the question, because everybody will always yell, what was the question? What was the answer? So answer to everybody. And we tend to want to walk towards that person, like I just did, and we don't want to do that. We want to stay centered and answer to everybody. All right, what are your questions so far?